In terms of the side for this week, was it a slightly easier 17 to select than last week?
A little bit was we got a few boys back from injury. We had a couple of last minute changes last week, which forced us on. But then a couple of bands this week as well, which is it is what it is. So it's an opportunity for a few blokes coming back from injury. So hopefully the 17 that we picked this week, confident that they can get the job done as well.
With those bans, were you ever in a position where you thought you might contest them?
I don't think so. They were quite clear on TV, on watching it back. With Horney's probably got his technique wrong there a little bit, and same with Wats's. It was just a bit of timing issue, and we didn't want to risk having the bans extended. So you just got to cop them. Unfortunately, take it on the chin, and it's an opportunity for somebody else to step in and play as well. So we're just focused on, positive that somebody else is going to come in the squad and pick up where them boys left off.
Given the minutes that Liam Horne's been playing and given how well he's been playing as well, how big a blow is it to lose him, and what sort of options have you had? Do you have at your disposal to sort of fill that particular gap?
It is a bit of a blow, yeah. We're not going to focus on that negative side of things. Like I say, it's positive that we've got JJ in there, John Johnson, who's came off the bench last week and did a good job in difficult circumstances. He was playing in the centre, back towards the end and playing at loose forward. So he's an opportunity there. George Lawler's played a lot of 9 in his time. A couple of options. I said yes, it's a bit of a loss. He's Hornix. He's been playing so well, but that's the game, unfortunately. So we just focus on the boys who were in there this week.
Jack Broadbent and Nathan Massey still haven't made the 21 this week. Are you still confident that they'll feature soonish?
I am, yeah. Yeah, the boys are confident as well. Mass was disappointing to lose him the other week, and it's not as bad as first feared. So it's just getting him right. And same with Brody. It wasn't as bad as we first thought. So I'm hoping that they're certainly going to feature before the end of the year, which is great news for them and good news for the squad as well. The popular members of the squad and been playing some good stuff this year. So it gives them a real boost having them back around training as well.
And when you came in, Danny, you spoke about how hectic it was, obviously, understandably, when you first arrived. Have you sort of sensed it calming down a bit? Have you been able to take stock a little bit more over the last week or so?
Get your bearings a little bit more. We're coming in, didn't know what was working with too much and trying to put a little stamp on things. But now I get to know the lads a lot better. Just more time on field, more time in the company and working with them. So finding my feet a little bit more, and it's been more comfortable in what we're doing. And credit to everyone, like the players and the staff around us who've made that transition easy. So it's I wouldn't say it's getting easier, but there's always stressors thrown in the mix, like last minute pullouts and bans and little bits of madness like that keep you on your toes. But still enjoying it.
There's always stresses. Are you, as you get to know the group more and more, are you as confident as you were that Cass will be okay this year?
Definitely, yeah. It's that's not changed. Coming in, I knew what I was capable of, knew the players I was working with, and working with them every day. You're seeing more and more, and my confidence is growing each session. I hope that's what the boys is doing. Cause it's there's a lot of it we spoke about. Trying to make them confident when we came in and simplifying things and focusing on our strengths. And I think that's what we're doing. So working with them every day is certainly growing my confidence.
It's not that long ago that Warrington were in free fall. What do you think you're going to get from them on Saturday?
Well, they had a good win last week. A fantastic win over at Hull, which is a really tough place to go, and another team battling for the 6. And there was good value for the win last week. So they'll be back confident, back playing at home. Still in the mix. I think the 5th in the league now, still in the mix for the end of the season, and they'll be wanting to just pick up their form now going to the back end of the season when it matters. It doesn't matter if you've had a dip in season, it's how you finish, and they've certainly got the players there to put on a good charge at this time of year. So they'll be confident coming off a win and back at home. So, but again, it's what we do, and we're focusing on being better than we were last week and just getting our game right. But they'll certainly be they're certainly a tough opposition this week for us.
Just firstly on Liam Watts, it's his 10th ban in 2 seasons. How's he taken having another stint on the sidelines?
he's experienced at it now, and it's just he knows what he's doing. It's another week off, like a fireman, week on, week off. But that's Watsy. He goes full beans when he's playing, and it was nothing malicious in what he did. It was just unfortunate, he just got his timing wrong in his body position, and he got done for a trip. But it's a week off for him where we say we look at the positives of it. It's a week off where we can rest up. He's played big minutes the last couple of weeks. I think he's been fantastic for us. Certainly since I've been in, the Wakefield game and the Saints game, he was a big force, doing some of what he does best. So use it as a week where he can just work on a couple of bits, get his body right, and get ready to go next week.
Has confidence been dented by last week's result, or have you been able to put it behind you pretty quickly?
I don't think so. No, my confidence. It's a weird one. I came away from the game thinking we performed quite well, and people probably look at the scoreline, or certainly at half time. I went in and told them that I thought defensively we were pretty good. We worked on the areas that we spoke about the week before in the Wakefield game, but we got caught against a good team against St Helens who just punish you. If you have that one play off, or you don't quite defend to your system for one play, they will find it, St Helens. So unfortunately, that's what happened. But I think overall the performance, I came away from Friday night in quite a good mood for the coach who's lost the game. We can take it quite badly, but I saw some positives. I saw how hard we worked that second half, and that really just gave me confidence going into this next game. So it seems a bit mad when you're 30-0 down at half time to be happy with performance. But yes, that's not acceptable. But at the same time, I'm looking at areas we're talking about building on, and I saw progress.
Yeah, this short-term deal is a bit of an audition for you. How are you managing that element of it alongside the pressure of keeping Cass in Super League?
Yeah, it's fine. It is what it is. I'm just coming in, focusing on 1 week at a time, and that next opposition, that next game, that next training session. That's all that's in my mind. Nothing long term at all. But that's even if I was on a 5-year deal, that's all I'd be doing. I'd be just focusing 1 week at a time. So whatever happens after that, I'm not really thinking about at the minute. It's just week by week and game by game.
At the same time, whatever happens over the next few weeks, would you like to be Cass head coach next year?
I'm certainly enjoying it. Yeah, it's something that I wanted to do, and really happy being here. So, like I said, that'll sort itself out in time. At the minute, just focusing on winning games and keeping Cass's position in Super League.
Just touching on JD's question before, obviously Liam Hall won't play this week, but he's had quite the positive impacts on the club so far. Him and Charbel have done really well, haven't they? They've proven to be good signings so far. Yeah,
been fantastic pickups. Yeah, that was it was great to come in and work with a couple of blokes like that. I said Horn, who's been unbelievable. His energy, his minutes that he can bang out. Anyone will tell you, for Oka to be able to bang out 80 minutes and just go absolute, full beans when he's in there. He's 100 miles an hour in what he does, and how he sustains that for a long period of time has been outstanding. Is the reason for some of his good performances. And it'll be a loss, but working with him and Sharps, they've been great. I've said it a couple of times. It looks like they've been here all season. It looks like they've been here a couple of years, where they're fitted in and where they are around the group, and that's what you want.
Yeah, but Blake has just been on as well. What's it been like working with him? Obviously, he's a high-profile signing coming in towards this back end of the season.
Yeah, great player. He's lifted us. You saw how the week building into Wakefield, he was just great to have around. Them level players, they make a difference just in the way that they talk, the way that they lead, things that they pick up, the little small talk that they have with players on the field, in meetings. The work is done then, has taken the pressure off Milky in the halves and Gaz at fullback, and they've just really clicked together. I think that they're playing some good football together. It was a loss last week, but hopefully we'll be back in tomorrow and fit and ready to go.
Yeah, obviously yourself has only been in this position for a couple of weeks now. But what have you learned in your time at the Jungle so far, would you say?
Yeah, it's just learning about the players and how they work, and I've been surprised by the levels of their intensity, their commitment, the way that they work together. I've been really pleased with. So I'm learning all the time about the boys, about the staff, and continually trying to get better as coaches and driving those standards within the group. Yeah,
I think most questions have been answered, but I was just curious to sort of looking at the league table. There is a chance that at the end of 27 games, it could come down to points difference if you're on the same points total. And at the moment, you've definitely got the advantage there with a 44 points better points difference than Wakefield. But, I suppose what that means is, though, that, even if you did lose against Warrington or any other game, you can't really afford to lose by that many points. You've got to have, because even at the end of the day, a 1 point better points difference than Wakefield, if you were on the same points, overall, would secure you safety, wouldn't it? So, it's you can't afford to be in a situation where you throw the towel in if it looks as though you're falling to a defeat against anybody at the moment. And if you win, on the other hand, you need to score as many points as you can.
Well, that's the standard, isn't it? That's rugby, whatever. Take the league table out. If it's you wanting to win by as many points as you can, you wanting to. If you do lose, you want to go down with fight and try and scrap right to the very death. We're not talking about points difference. That's just the game, isn't it? That's just them fellas doing the job that they want to make contests as hard as possible, and they want to fight for everything. That points difference can just be wiped out in just one game, like you say. But that's a standard as a rugby league player, that you want to put as many points on a team. You want to have that biggest margin, and we can't worry about points difference in the league table. I'm not sure the boys can even work that out with a so it's we're not even looking at that. We want to be in games, we want to be fighting, we want to be scrapping for every win, and we want to be winning by as many points as possible. That's a given.
Obviously, a crucial position is dummy half in any team. McShane's out for a long time. Liam Horn played there last week. Obviously, won't be playing there this week. Who'll be your main dummy half operator this week?
We've got a couple of options there. We've obviously John Johnston and Jordan Lawler as well, being able to cover 9. So we've got a couple of options that we're still looking over, but it'll probably shared between them two.
And obviously Warrington are going to, they're under pressure as well, really, because although they had a great win last weekend, as you say, they're still battling for the top 6. They're on the same number of points as Salford and Hull KR, and they can't afford to drop a game if they're going to, be sure of finishing in the top 6. So, you're going to have 2 quite nervous clubs, quite possibly. And in this situation, sometimes what makes a difference is who can get on top early. And I just wonder whether you can, because they've got a few weapons, haven't they? I mean, obviously, Dufty can break through and, cause problems. Obviously, George Williams is coming back to form as well. But so you need to keep an eye on those guys while imposing yourself on them at the same time.
Yeah, they've got a fantastic team. You've got some amazing players all over the field. Some real threats. You can't focus on too many areas because somebody else will get you. The halfbacks are fantastic. You spoke about Dufty there at fullback, who's always popping up everywhere and with his pace. And yeah, we know we're going to be in a real scrap. They got a little bit of pressure there on them because of the results recently, but that can change in 80 minutes like it did. They picked up a win last week, so all of a sudden they'll be full of confidence, and that pressure's kind of gone off them a little bit. They're not in a bad spot. They're in 5th. And, they'll know they just want to be in it at the end of the season. So in them playoffs, anything can happen. It's all about peaking at the right in the season. If you don't want it and kick on now, then no one will be speaking about that little blip in mid-season where they lost a few games. So they'll be absolutely full of confidence, playing at home, and them quality players that we spoke about, will be backing themselves to coming out and have a big performance. The start of the games are always massive. We can't start slow. We're travelling away from home, so we've got to focus on that and just being in a game and building a game, because we've got good players of his own. You look at our team sheet, and that's really exciting with the names on there. So hopefully it makes for a really exciting game where 2 teams are going at each other for different reasons. And their own different battles.
And of course, you've got Blake Austin, who's hopefully fully fit now, going back to a club that he initially played with 2 or 3 years ago. And he's in the market for a new contract, perhaps either with Castleford or somebody else. it would be a great day for him to really turn it on, as we know he can do. I mean, he's still got the ability to really lead a team and cause some damage to opponents. It couldn't be a better setting for him to do that. Hopefully.
Yeah, fantastic player, as we speak about many times, and it's always nice going back to your old club as a player or a coach. You always want to play well, and same with Gaz Widdop, who's played at Warrington, and it's always nice to go back. So hopefully they can find something and have a big performance. But Blake's 100% each week, no matter who he's playing. So I'm pretty confident. I know what we'll get from Blake tomorrow.
Obviously, last time Cass played Warrington, Casper got a win, and I know you weren't head coach then. But is there anything that you've learned from that game that you can bring into this week?
I think the boys are confident from you play teams and you can't look too far back into the season and we beat them last time, so therefore it's we should beat them this time. But the boys do get confidence from performances and how they performed previously. So hopefully they can draw on that a little bit. That you look at teams and think, well, they are beatable. It's a good side. There's some good names on there, but you've done it once and you've had victories there. So just build confidence from that. But it's all about this week really. That's different from the start of the season. We've just got to focus on the lads who are out there this week.